Morning, folks. I'm Lee Scananero, and you're watching MeadvilleCalendar.com. If you want to follow me upstairs here, we're at Foundry Co-work, and there's some folks up here that are actually running for city council. They announced it today. They announced it in the paper this last week, and they reached out to us to go live with us, and we're really excited. Of course, anyone running for any local positions should do the same, because we want to showcase awesome candidates to awesome people. Let's see what's going on in here. Wow, what a great crew. Why are you all here today?
This is where I always come when it snows.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be here.
Sit and enjoy the scenery.
Wow.
Yeah. No, we're gonna play some topic pong, coffee combo pong, whatever it is. We're here today because we're all running.
So
City
topic
Council.
pong. So I'm imagining this works something like the infamous beer pong, where you get balls into cups. Does someone want to go first and show us how it's done?
Well, can we talk a little bit more about why we're here? I probably
Absolutely,
segued us too soon. But we should, I didn't
We're
mean to-
live. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Yeah.
We
No,
could
but
like
we're
find
all-
out your names.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, rushing us into things. Who are you?
Me. I'm Jack Harkless.
I'm Autumn Vogel.
I'm Larry McKnight.
Great.
We're
Wow.
all-
You guys did great on that part.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're all running for Meadville City Council, and we're running together.
Right.
And we're doing that. Does anyone want to explain this
Yeah,
harebrained
so-
idea that we have?
There's a lot of ideas. I think the first is that there's a lot of negativity in politics, and we're trying to break sort of the status quo on that and show that people can work together. And I mean, obviously, if you're voting, you probably know that there's only 2 seats open. So why are we being so friendly about it? It could be competitive, but we think that we can bring more people together and get people out to vote by working together rather than against each other.
Right. And also by supporting each other, because we all have very similar, if not the same ideas about what we want to see happen with local government and here in Meadville. So regardless of which two make it, we're going to support them. And then with next time comes around, they'll be there with the door already open to help bring the third person aboard, and then we can all work together to better Meadville.
Yeah, and very practically too, like all three of us are kind of just ordinary people without a background in any kind of politics, and there's a lot to be figured out that can be hard for ordinary people to figure out when you've never done this before. So we're learning together and supporting each other as we jump through the hoops of running for local government.
Bureaucracy.
Yeah,
I think
and-
you're all extraordinary. And
Yeah,
speaking of
absolutely.
extraordinary, our friend Jason behind the camera was stuck in his driveway today.
No,
Because
it's
of the
pretty.
snow.
I have
pictures I'll post.
Dan was down at the
Extraordinary.
table, single-handedly lifted the car out of the snow.
Joe got me. I'm a little
Look at those
thirsty
muscles,
now,
you can
but-
That's an
tell.
amazing
Yeah.
thing.
He lifted the car. Do you drive a
Yeah.
Daewoo or
So,
something?
do you
Yeah.
guys want to get started?
Can we talk about the things that we do?
I still remember David.
Yeah.
They were in flash hand, but they were beautiful, weren't they?
Smart car. It's got a little handle on it. You just.
It's just on top like a briefcase. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let's see how this works out.
I don't know.
Who's going first? Who's the expert here?
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you are the best at this.
Let's mention real quick what
Just
topics.
hand over the balls.
I was taking a quick drink.
So I think
This
how this is
man
going
wants
to
on
work
camera.
is Jack Harkless here is going to try to land his ball into one of these cups, at which point, if he does successfully, he'll then give us his opinion on said topic. Is that right?
Yeah, well,
Oh, all of it. Great.
Feedback.
Love
I mean,
it.
if
Okay,
I
so-
miss,
maybe
if I
I'll
miss,
get
you're not
mad.
going to hold it against me, though, right?
No.
No.
It's been quite a long time since
No,
I played.
last weekend.
Hey! Just because you were there, Dan, doesn't I'm just
that was
kidding.
my idea. I should have
I
put
picked you
something
too.
else.
Oh!
Zach.
How many do we? Oh, 2 turns. Okay. We make up the rules.
Oh
like
my
it.
gosh.
Larry, you want to give this a
Jack, I
shot?
think you did a great job.
Oh, thanks.
I don't want you to. Oh my
That
gosh.
was good.
Oh,
Ooh.
so close.
We're gonna be here
So
all
what happened?
morning.
Yeah,
Well, I didn't play basketball.
I hope you guys have all the time in the world. Oh my! I'm not even getting the right direction. Oh, that was closer.
Oh!
Yeah, we're gonna.
This is
we'll just take
impossible.
over.
All right, now
I'm telling you, I think there's a difference between plastic and
We're gonna do
That's
it.
just my opinion.
There is a difference.
What's
One is
this edit?
reusable and sustainable.
Oh my
You can't even fake that,
Just
man.
do it. Just,
Hey!
What we got there?
oh, public space.
Public
Spaces.
spaces.
Okay, so public spaces. Well, I mean, we've got the Diamond, we've got various parks around town, and you know, there's a lot of groups that are working on that right now. I know that right now the city government is working on trying to, what's the park up at the top of Allegheny? At a
HP Way.
HP
yes,
Way
Ace
Park.
Way. So I know that's
HP
something they're
Park.
working on right now.
Yeah.
But so in order to get some of the funding they needed to do that, they actually had to take what the funding they had put into Beers Park and move it up to HP Way. So now Beers Park is like, oh no. So what do we do about something like that, for instance? I know that I believe it's the Rotary Club has fundraisers every year and they bring money in. So like, in my opinion, pairing with groups like that, other organizations, and working with them to bring people together to like work towards a common goal to make a park like that better is one way that we can work at making public spaces better. That's just one of many ways. You guys have any?
Yeah, I agree, and one of my concerns is that the parks aren't manned like they used to be. There were programs, educational programs. Parents could take their kids to the park and feel safe, comfortable. You didn't have to worry about adults or teenage kids hanging out where there are young kids, where you want your kids to play at. I think that's one of the things that we need to get back to is the programs, teaching our kids how to make potholders, simple things, really enjoy their childhood instead of having to worry and feel threatened.
Yeah, we heard a lot of people miss the summer parks program when we talked to them for my Meadville, and so that was one of the things that was highlighted last summer was bringing back those manned person hours at the park, and that's going to happen again should we get the grant funding to do it. And that's just kind of one example of the ways that people have been reactivating and I think expanding our public spaces too.
Right.
We've seen that happen in Diamond Park with Winterfest, and more concerts than we've ever had before. We've seen it happen in parking lots and on Chestnut Street, and even spaces that are vacant, where we're just kind of exploding what public spaces exist in our town. And I think the city could have a really interesting role.
One of my interests are to see trails, small trails. Heidi Cooper Park is a very beautiful park. It's got a lot of nice woodland area that it could be used for picnicking, little trails that the kids could walk, or you could even have it where you could play games and things. So take what we do have and just improve it and utilize it instead of letting it sit and go to waste. We're paying taxes on it, so why not use it? Why not let it benefit?
I love that. We've got everything we need. It's right here.
It's right here.
Yeah. Who's next? Who's up next? Larry.
gosh.
Yes.
You are, Larry.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Tried to hit Julie there.
Oh, not here.
I may need a rebound.
Oh man! Wow. Editing.
There we go. Fluoride. Fluoride. No comment.
What? No comments? No comments?
No comment.
Glorious.
Hold on, I got a couple, 2 or 3 just now.
No comment.
All right, sorry. Good.
I thought that one said Florida.
Florida, me too.
Florist.
What-
What do you
what
think
are
about
your
florist?
options on
I don't
florist?
know.
Florist.
It's a little flowery for me.
Yeah. Oh,
This is insane.
nice. That's great. Things.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, yeah.
Wow!
Government leadership.
Can you
Awesome.
hold this one while you talk?
Okay.
Oh, my hand was in the way.
He washes his hands a lot. I know it for a fact. No, so our government, and I think it's kind of central to why I'm running, I think our government needs to be transparent and participative. That started through things like My Meadville. So we've had this story-based, resident-driven community planning process that has involved ordinary people in creating a vision for Meadville. And I think that needs to really be formalized and kind of woven into how our government is made up. I think that we need a kind of standard process for people to get involved on commissions, authorities, and making decisions for our town. I think it needs to be accessible and easy. I think information needs to be easy to find, easy to access, easy to understand, because this town is for all of us.
Right. And I feel that it should be inclusive. By that, I mean, it should include and take into consideration the benefit of all the residents, not just a select few. As their opinions, looking into their neighborhoods, making sure that one neighborhood's not kept better than the other, that housing is taken care of, and that we're all treated as equal residents of town. So I'd like to see our local government make policies that include everyone.
I think a lot of it just involves us being hands-on and really getting out there. Because I mean, the best way you're going to make things inclusive is being able to present opportunities, like Autumn said, for people to come to us, but also for us to come out and talk to people. And I think that's really important. I mean, no one's going to know everything. Okay, so if you go out into the community and you ask people in areas that you want to affect change in, those people that work or live in those areas are going to have the best idea of what they need to do better or to be better.
And also, one of the things I like about the three of us, like he said, we don't know everything, no one knows everything, but we have the willingness to work together. If Autumn knows something, I can go to Autumn or Jack and say, hey, this is, or they can come to me and say, hey Larry, you know what, I did this is what worked for me, why don't you try this? So we are going to be inclusive and we're going to work together and share ideas. And like you said, go out into the community and talk to the different people in the community that represents the whole community.
And we've got a vision. I think our government needs a vision.
Yes.
I love it. You know, that's something, that's a shared value of MeadvilleCalendar.com. We try to get to lots of different kinds of people, so I love it. Why don't we try maybe one more?
Okay, let's do it.
I've got two.
I think it's,
Oh,
no, that one was Larry. No, that one was me. It's hard to know.
I don't
We're all
have
the same.
I don't have one that I can fake it this time.
One more.
Come on, just try it again. Redeem yourself.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Housing. You want to drink it?
It's just water. It's okay for you.
It's cold.
Sing it, Jack.
What?
Yeah.
Sing
Sing
it.
it.
Oh,
Sing it.
no, that's a little.
Why not?
I'll play the piano for you sometime. So housing. I think housing has been something we've done a great job at focusing on our downtown and revitalizing. I think it's something that we, as like groups in Meadville and organizations in Meadville, have worked on and continue to work on. But I feel like the residential sectors of Meadville have kind of lacked focus for a long time. That being said, I think that going into those areas and finding, especially with like zoning, which is something that the city's working on a lot right now, and being part of those commissions and working with residents to figure out how we can best use those areas and how we can best kind of bring vibrancy to those areas, I think is what's really important.
Yeah, I'm a homeowner, as Jack, and of course I want my neighborhood to look nice. We have to talk to the landlords that make them want to take care of their homes, their properties, not just as an income. If they took pride in their homes, fixed them up, it would be so much better. I think maybe we could have programs for each area, for each neighborhood, beautification contest. You know, if the neighborhood that wins gets a barbecue or has a party or something, but to show and take pride in your neighborhood, take pride where you live. Go through the alleys, have our city start to go through and clean up alleys, and it's going to prevent people from, be honest, we have problems with drugs, drinking, but if the neighborhoods are clean, people are going to take more respect and care, and if they see someone littering or not cleaning up after their dog, they're going to say something. And I think one of the ways to make people proud of Meadville again is if it looks nice. If you're proud of your neighborhood, you're going to be proud of the city.
Would you be interested in talking to my neighbor about cleaning up after his dog?
Oh, trust me, I've gone around with my neighbors, so yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, thanks. No, I'm a renter. About 57% of Meadville rents their homes.
Right.
And that's huge, right? Like that's the majority of people in town. And what we heard from folks when we interviewed, again for my Meadville, is that people were concerned about the quality of the places that they were living. They were maybe low quality, but paying too much rent for them. And that's kind of an imbalance that can be struck at a local level. And I'd want to see that happen for people like me who rent their homes.
Right, and you know, one of the things that upsets me is a lot of the landlords receive grants and loans to rehab their rental properties. But if you look, it's not being done, so where's this money going? And like she's saying, you have renters that are paying ridiculous prices for properties where roofs are falling in or their windows are bad, but they have no recourse. Who do they go to? So that's something we need to look into is where does a renter go when they have a complaint against the landlord without having to be worried about being evicted? Because that's what happens. If you complain too much, well, get out because they know someone else is going to come in. We need to look at that and address it. Hold the landlords more responsible.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I think we want to take a selfie here. I think it'll be beautiful. And
You all get to watch.
you know, while we're taking the selfie, does anyone have anything good going on this weekend or this week that they're maybe going to? that maybe-
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King. It's, what goes on every year?
Well, we have our dinner. It's our annual dinner. We're going to have a speaker, the mayor from Wilkinsburg.
Wow, cool.
And
What's her name?
Mayor Garrett, Mayor Marita Garrett, she's pretty great. She's also speaking at Allegheny at 2 in the Tippy building, and then is the keynote speaker tonight at
Right.
6 at the MLK dinner.
So that's one of the things that we have going on.
And can folks still get tickets for that event?
Yes, I'm quite sure they can get them at the door.
Okay,
It's
and where is
at-
it?
It's at
Food's
St.
really good
Bridges.
each time.
St. Bridges.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, food is really good.
At 5?
6 o'clock.
Okay, awesome. I will be there. I'm just.
I'll be
my
there. I'll be
schedule's not
in the kitchen doing dishes, so.
cool. Well, Dan, you have anything you want to add?
Yes, I'm adding it now.
Promotion to purchase
This
some
is-
flowers
this is-
today.
We're mixing business and politics.
So other things I'll say are going on. This Friday, there's a Marvel Cinematic Universe trivia in Meadville Council of the Arts.
Love that.
Sorry, I don't know if I said. Well, it's Friday. Saturday, there's a drum circle at Meadville Council of the Arts. This week, there's, I'm sure, tons of beautiful things going on. So check it out on meadvillecalendar.com. And if you want to support us, you can pay $5 a month on Patreon. Dan, you got a sign off for us? Is that what you were doing over there?
Yes, make art, create it, throw it out all over. See you on the town. And these are 3 incredible people we just got
Yes.
to be with.
Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you,
us.
guys.
Thank you for having us.
See ya.
See you on the town.